Okay, so I want apples, a loaf of bread, I want American cheese.
Who are you talking to? Are you me?
Yeah, because I'm giving you my grocery list.
Okay, well, I don't work for Instacart or the Walnut Lake Market, so back off, boo-boo.
I guess I have to call shipped. Damn it.
Yeah.
God.
Hey guys, it's your favorite final boy and girl, Alex and Emily, again coming at you in a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and shred the best and worst slasher movies. As I just recently discussed with Emily, I do not work for the Walnut Lake Market. However, our movie does. So we're going back to 1989's Intruder. And as always, Emily has the original and priceless VHS copy. So let's hear what the back of that box says. If you can stop reading your grocery list to me.
If only my grocery list was that healthy. When you and it wasn't, by the way, it was apples, white loaf of bread, and American cheese so far. That's not healthy. Okay. When you check out of Walnut Lake Supermarket, you really check out for good. A crazed killer is turning the whole place into a human butcher shop. The night crew, including lovely Renee Estevez, is disappearing one by one in a bloody rampage of terror and gore. And the maniacal killer is saving the best for last, the innocent and beautiful head cashier Elizabeth Cox. So drop by the market for a shopping spree you'll never forget. There's no express lane to escape from the horror. 1989. Your thoughts?
Woo! All right, I absolutely freaking love this movie. It is just the type of movie I wish I had watched more growing up, because it would have really changed a lot of my life. Because in my college years, I spent a lot of time in retail. So I can definitely relate to a lot of what's going on, a lot of the equipment that they use. I mean, minus all the murder and blood and mayhem and all that stuff. I can relate to so much of it. I wish I had that much drama at my work. And even though it takes like 30 to 40 minutes or so of watching them like clean up the floor and stock shelves and eat all kinds of things. But
there's still stuff going on during that. So.
Yeah, I mean, before the killing starts, though, it's like 30 to 40 minutes. But I was still really hooked. I loved the buildup. I loved the characters. I liked like all getting the whole layout of the supermarket and really seeing all the different rooms and the way it's all connected. I thought it was really cool. And then when I bought a physical copy the day after I streamed it, and I noticed that the cover headline when I got it said Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, and I was like, Bruce was in 2 minutes and Sam Raimi is barely a side boo, but thanks for Evil Dead baiting us, but I mean, I wanted more Bruce, but actually I don't know that I would have. It was so good with it. It was so good, and I just thought it worked so well. What about you?
I really like it. It's okay. This is going to be blasphemy, I'm sure, but I am not a huge Sam Raimi fan, as a director. I like the first Evil Dead. I didn't understand when I was too young to understand why they were remaking Evil Dead 2. Like I always hated it because I was like, why is this the same movie? Because I was like too little to really understand that it was supposed to be a parody. So that kind of ruined that for me. And I've just never liked any of his stuff. But I do like him as an actor. I like him in this movie. And I'm not a big fan of Bruce Campbell, honestly. I don't give a shit about Ash. I don't. I just don't. And he's usually I don't like him very much. I like him in Maniac Cop, and that's about it. But so I like that he wasn't in much of this movie. But, the guy that directed it, worked on Evil Dead 1 and 2. I mean, he was very close friends with Sam Raimi. They were all friends. So it's it seems like he watched Sam Raimi and took the best parts of Sam Raimi movies and put it into Intruder, because there's
Scott Spiegel that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of they have those silly signs. I mean, they're not silly, but there are signs behind people that are danger. For people that are about to die in certain ways. There's a danger. It's just a lot of in
Right.
your face kind of stuff, but it works really well in this movie. And I will admit, I did not like this movie. Well, that's not true. When I first tried to watch this movie, this is a couple years ago, I started it and I just couldn't get into it. And I tried it again, couldn't get into it. And then I ended up watching it about 2 years ago, and then I was like hooked, and I really, really liked it. And the deaths are, I really like all the characters. I even like the Clint character, because he does end up being like an anti-hero, I guess. Well, I mean, ends up being like a good guy, I guess.
Who's Clint?
Clint, isn't that his name?
Craig?
Craig, sorry, Craig. Yeah.
Juliet's little sister?
Juliet's little sister? With his hair. That's a Slumber Party Massacre 3 reference. So yeah, and I even like the bad guy, and I like his transformation. It doesn't seem to not make sense. You know what I mean? And
well, it only doesn't make sense in the fact that, like, who gives a shit? Like, move on with your life. Like, who loves retail that much? Bye.
Yeah, I know, but I would have liked to have seen Renee Estevez a little bit more in it, but I think I'm obsessed with Bub. I love him. I'm in love with him. I would marry him. I don't know what his real name is, but
yeah.
So I really, really like this movie. I think it's done really well. I think that you can tell that.
And Bub is real quick. He's the stoner, right? And it sounds like Tommy Wiseau the whole movie.
Yes. Yeah.
He's the one.
He's the one that's like, you can't give me a wedgie, Tim. I had the foresight to not wear any underwear, Tim.
Yeah. I think I wrote down somewhere, and I was just like, I said, this guy talking to Renee about a Hamilton Beach blender sounds just like Tommy Wiseau. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about him. I just think I'm very attracted to him. I don't know.
Well, clearly.
But I don't know. I love him. So I really, I was, and I do agree with you. I wish I had seen this when I was younger, because I feel like if we had watched this when we were like in high school, this would have been like a staple for us.
Oh my God. Yes.
But unfortunately, we saw it a little bit too late for that. But
yeah.
Ted Raimi's also in it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Produce Joe.
Okay, yeah. But okay.
And then you mentioned him, but Bill, which the killer or whatnot. Yeah. He's in a lot of Sam Raimi stuff too. He's in Darkman, Evil Dead 2. He's in some Spider-Man movies. He's just bit pieces here and there. So
yeah, and the director was, I think, one of the shimps in Evil Dead 1. And I know that he just worked with Sam Raimi a lot after that.
Yeah, he was a shimp, and definitely I know the second one, but I guess the first one, then would that be the first one too?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had their the people that they got to do the special effects on this movie. They're like huge. They did Evil Dead 2. I think they did they helped on Day of the Dead. They were like, besides Tom Savini, they've done like huge stuff. So for 1989, them getting by this point, they were a pretty big special effects department. For them to work on it was a big deal. And it does show, because it has a lot of good gore in it. Yeah,
the gore was good. The kills were good. I mean, there was a couple scenes I was like, like I even had to like close my eyes or something, because it was like a little like I didn't want to like I could feel it. Like I've almost come into close calls with some of these incidents. And so I was like having like PTSD flashbacks of what might have been had I like done something wrong, like throwing box cutters and tripping into the compactor and all of these things.
I mean, so we'll, let's go over the plot a little bit. So this supermarket called the Walnut Lake Supermarket, it's closing time. Mm-hmm. As far as they know, it's just closing time for the night right now. So they're like, getting everything stocked for the rest of the day, for the next day. And they're checking out this old man who actually I think used to be in like the Three Stooges a lot.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he seemed like he was a comedian.
I think it was Three Stooges, and he says a line to there's a couple coming in, and he says something about holding hands or something, and he said a line that he was known for using in I think it was the Three Stooges. But anyway, So that was like a little fun thing that happened. So, okay, they're checking these people out, and this guy shows up with the mullet from hell, Craig.
Oh my
Although
God.
I always like Craig's. Well, okay, I don't know if that's true, but I love Craig from Degrassi, so I'm always like Craig. I like to call him Craig.
Yeah. Well, all I ever saw was a scruffy man with a leather and a cig and mullet mania, and I immediately was like, "What am I watching? Cruising? What is this?"
Every time they show him, and it's like, I know it kind of is creepy. Every time they show him in the background, it's just like,
I laugh so hard.
it's so hilarious, but it is creepy too. But anyway, okay, so Craig is the ex-boyfriend of one of the cashiers. So the two cashiers are Elizabeth Cox, who plays Jennifer, and then Renee Estevez, who plays Linda.
Mhm.
And Craig comes up and I think he's getting cigarettes or something like that. And he starts being, like getting in her face. Well, I guess he wants her back, whatever. And so Linda presses the panic button, which then it shows the manager's office, where it has the two owners of the supermarket. One of them is like, you can tell, like the money one. And then one of them,
he's dressed less blue collar and like less.
He's the one that's like, you can tell he owns 51% and the other one owns 49%.
Oh yeah, the 49,
which ends up what it is. You can tell. So the blue collar guy, his name's Bill. He goes down, and then there ends up being this fight with Craig. And
oh my God, that's a fun fight too. Oh
yeah, it is.
Fight.
Yeah. I mean, the shit's just going everywhere.
Because,
and this whole like display goes like.
Yeah, because the one that Sam Raimi plays gets thrown into a big old Diet Pepsi display.
Yeah. And I mean, God, you know what? You know how we talked about how in Blood Cult they probably had to. It's like the only movie in history where they had to pay people to advertise for them in movies. I would say I wonder I wonder money from all, like they had to have gotten some money for all this product placement.
I mean, yeah, they had Kellogg's, they had Oreo, Nabisco. I mean, but what really struck me was the fact that all these big brands of what we saw throughout, the only detergent we saw was a white box that said
laundry. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's nothing. Like so
I noticed
one thing
that
I wanted
it was when Linda was checking out. Yeah, because she has like it's like brand Cheerios, like the brand, and then it's like laundry.
Well, and there's so many scenes where the laundry they focus on that laundry on the shelf too so many times. Like it's just ridiculous. But yeah.
So so when they get in the fight, so he escapes onto the shop floor, and then like the night crew, they're like, they're gonna find him, and then they find him, and they get into another fight, and he gets taken out of the building. So he's like supposed to be gone at this point.
Yeah, see you, Craig.
Although he does he keeps calling and stuff, and I'm just like, why are you at a certain point they did stop answering, but there were so many times I was like,
oh God,
stop
right?
answering the fucking phone. It clearly is not it's clearly not.
Linda was waiting on someone for her to call because she was supposed to be picked up.
But she was never the one answering it.
Well, she did every now and then, because then she finally picks up the phone thinking it's going to be him again, and it actually is the guy she's looking. It's either her dad or her boyfriend. I don't remember.
It's her boyfriend because he's like,
there's a huge.
It's her boyfriend because he's like, pick up beer, basically.
That's right. But right before he gets kicked out and he keeps calling all the time, he's talking to Jennifer, and he's like, just tell me why, and she's like, I haven't checked my answering machine in 2 days. It's like, so how many? First of all, I feel you, girl. I don't ever answer any. I don't check nothing.
I know. I don't know.
And then second of all, so you think that you can call her 20 times in the grocery store and she's going to answer you? And then also, how many times do you think he called her in 2 days?
And also, you just got out of jail.
And also, this was a whole year ago when they broke up.
Yeah, and they only dated for like 3 months or something like that. And then he went to jail for accidentally killing someone, and he's like wondering what the problem is. It's like, okay.
He was defending her honor, though.
Because Bub is like, he started doing like, at first, because he was like, I was friends with him, and then he started like doing like drugs, because I guess Bub only smokes weed and stuff, but Craig had started doing like hard drugs, and then he accidentally killed this guy. So that's what he tells like Linda about it. But the owners gather the whole night crew together after all this happens, and I'm like, God, timing, you know, like
Retail management.
Like, you couldn't wait till the next day to do this after this whole hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
They're like, okay, well, we're selling the store. So you have, we're going to give you a good, like, basically, we're going to give you good severance or bonus pay. And so you need to find, like, well, you don't have to find another job, but I mean, you're going to need another job by the first of next month.
First of next month, yeah.
Yeah. And so they're all like, what the fuck? And like a lot of the, I think is it Sam Raimi's character that says he's like, I had 2 weeks vacation coming to me.
I think so.
He's the butcher, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the butcher.
Yeah. Okay. And then like some of them are like, I was going to be owner. I was like, really? Were you like really striving for a career in the supermarket? I mean, okay. Whatever.
It's like, yeah, I mean,
I think people just get like, I don't think anyone strives for that career unless they get like way up.
Well, and also not when you're like 18. I mean,
yeah,
these kids are friggin' young.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're 18 and you're like what your career goal is to be a cashier at this mom and pop supermarket. Like okay.
Right.
But so they're all like, that sucks, and so they're all assigned to mark down, and it doesn't really say. I guess they're having to work like the whole night. But they're like having to mark down all the stock because of the closure. But Linda's not working the whole night. She's the only one that's supposed to leave. Yeah. So, and all during this is when Craig's making the phone calls. And at one point, doesn't he show up? Or that's before the second fight. He comes up behind her when she's on the phone or something.
No,
she's on the phone with the police, and then he comes up behind her.
No, so Linda and Jennifer are talking, and Jennifer is telling her the story of what happened with Craig. Like she's giving her the whole history of it, and it's like, and there's a really cool camera work here where it pans to the left. She's like, and he's been in, and it pans a little bit to the left.
And he's behind there. No, I'm not talking about that scene.
No, well, hold on. No, I wasn't talking about him yet. I was talking about the camera work as it pans to the left, and she is behind bars when she says the word prison.
Oh.
There's all kinds of really cool camera angles in this movie.
Yeah, there's that's the Sam Raimi.
Yeah, up the phone, the sweeping across the thing, looking through bottles and glasses. But then that was really cool, and they also do some like really cool like homages or foretelling with some of the camera angles too. Like I don't know, it was just really cool camera work.
Yeah, there is a scene though where she's on the phone with the police in a little cubicle kind of thing, and he comes in behind her.
I don't remember that. I don't remember him.
But
that must have been before he got thrown out.
Yeah, I think it is. It's before the second fight when they actually get him out.
Okay.
So then Linda's about to leave, and so she goes out to the parking lot, and she's stabbed to death. So okay. Then that's when Bill sees someone trying to get in, and he goes outside to investigate, and he gets hit, or no, he finds Craig, but then Craig hits him with a bottle, and he's unconscious. Is that what it is? He gets hit with a bottle.
It's a bottle or a piece of wood or something. Yeah.
He gets hit with it's some kind
of trash. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets hit in the head, and he's rendered unconscious. And then it just kind of cuts away, to back in the store.
Yeah.
So now we're to this. This is all of what we just talked about. That sounded like that was a very short summary, because that's about 30 minutes.
35. Yeah, it's almost 35 minutes, because the next scene that you're going to talk about.
We're about to start all the killings.
It's actually at 40-minute mark. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where everyone starts dying, and but somehow, I guess, because the store doesn't look that big, but I guess it is pretty sprawling, because people don't seem to know that anyone has died for a long time.
Well,
and we've also got this side story of Jennifer and I don't know what the guy's name is, that they're going to go out on a date.
Yeah, but it isn't the sales floor isn't that big at all. But there's all these different sections that like normally you would see in a normal like in Publix you see the glass, the butcher, you see all this stuff. So you just don't see all those sections. The sales floor is not very big at all. But then they have the attic, the rooftop access. They have the fruit place. They have a basement. It looks like, but just little one-off rooms. But everyone dies in a different room, basically. So that's why no one knows that anyone's really dying. And then everyone dies in like 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, so the next person to die is Danny, and he's garroted with a phone and his eye stabbed out. But he's later decapitated and used as a puppet, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, his death freaked me out when
his death, because it was like you thought it was over, and then it comes back around. Like you're like, I thought that was done, and then you're like, oh, here he is again.
So you definitely, and this is more of the camera work foretelling exactly. Like you knew exactly how he was going to die because earlier it
has a sign, yeah.
Well, no, it shows him putting receipts papers on this big metal spike, like on his desk.
Well, I know, but in the background of most of these, there are like signs that say something that are foreshadowed.
But that too. But you knew this is the weapon he was going to be killed with because it's just super obvious. The camera's sitting right there and not even focused on him. And I mean, whatever those damn things are for, me and my husband couldn't figure it out. Like, why do you not just throw them in the trash can? Why do you take these papers and throw them on a spike? Like, what is that even called? Something old 80s. You know what I'm talking about? But he's doing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why those are even used. Like, just throw them in the trash. It's going in the trash anyway. Or you're putting a big old hole in it. I don't know.
Facts. So, okay. His was, to me, his was the coolest death. But then after that, we have Produce Joe, who is sliced with a cleaver and later chopped up. But he just gets, like, cut in the back of the head.
And he deserved it because he's over here cutting fruit, like, and vegetables, like he's hacking up a body. I'm like, Mr. Raimi, who cuts fruit like that? And also, why are you listening to the same song for every 5 seconds it shows you?
He was eating all of it.
He's eating it all. He's bopping around with his Walkman, and he's listening to the same music for like every 5 seconds it shows him. And I'm like, oh God.
So then we have Tim, and he's stabbed in the abdomen, but he also has a cool later on death because he's later sliced in half, which is really cool.
Yeah, and then they have the half off sign on the trash can.
Yep, yeah. And then sadly, Bub goes next.
And his death freaked me out because we had a friend that his finger got like stuck through the gate, his ring finger. So the safety gate closed, but his finger fit through it because his fingers were small, and it got stuck on his ring finger, and his finger got crushed in the baler.
Oh my God. Well, Bub gets his head crushed by a box crusher. So
yeah, the baler, same thing.
And then Randy has his head impaled on a meat hook.
And then that freaking meat locker room, it looked warm. It looked like it was melting. It was not sanitary. You're going to get diseases when you eat that stuff. You're going to get total diseases eating the meat at Walnut Lake Supermarket. Just saying.
Right. So don't go there.
Don't go there. I mean, and even at the front of the store, at like, in and out of kills or whatever, Jennifer is over here scrubbing all these, like cleaning down all the registers with like some sort of a sponge and cleaning solution. And meanwhile, the floors look like inside a Texas chainsaw. I'm like, you all need to be mopping this damn place. What are you all doing? Why is everything so nasty?
And I'm like, why were you all into like these people earlier and hanging out with them? And then now you're like, don't see anybody, but okay. So
never mind.
Dave is the next to be killed, and he's partially decapitated. This is actually my favorite death, I guess. He's partially decapitated by a bandsaw, but then he's fully decapitated.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
And that's a really good one. And then you think that you're going to get someone to help with the bread delivery man, but he gets stabbed in the back. So, so during all this, I think you think you think Bill is still unconscious outside the whole time.
Or dead. Yeah.
So like Jennifer starts, I guess she finally notices
the bread guy isn't dead nearly yet. So yeah, I mean, because otherwise we would know Bill's not unconscious.
Right. Yeah.
That
but I
yeah.
just went ahead and said it. But so she starts realizing everyone's missing, and so she goes to investigate, and so she starts finding just like body parts and just bodies and body parts everywhere. And she's attacked, but she escapes she's in the back, and she gets up to the shop floor, and so she hears someone at the door. By the way, the police have already come by once because she called about Craig.
And they're the worst police.
Oh yeah.
He's like, here's my card, and he's like, wait, that's not my card. Here's my card, and then they try to get out the door, and they can't even open the door. I'm like, y'all ain't solving nothing.
Yeah, so that was worthless. But
Officers Voorhees and Kruger from Slumber Party Massacre 2 would have been better.
Facts.
Yeah.
Everything about them. Love it. Okay. So she hears someone at the door, but by the time she gets there, they're gone, and then Craig grabs her. But again, at that point, she's still thinking that he's like killed everybody. So she starts beating him with a meat hook, and then that's when Bill comes in, and he's like, Craig attacked me. Which, I mean, is true, but I mean, he wasn't completely lying.
Right.
So he calls the police, but then she's like, she starts noticing some things when she's like looking at Bill, and she's like, there's like blood all over him, and it doesn't really make sense from his story of that he was knocked unconscious because it's all over his hands and stuff. And so she's like, oh shit, basically. She's like, well, I was wrong. And
she's like, now I'm locked in here with a maniac. And has somebody already slipped on an eyeball yet? Was it her?
I can't remember.
Because we talked about how Emily, you talked about how he was hiding on the body parts all over the place, and then like one of the things that he did, someone slips on an eyeball in one of the aisles.
She does, yeah.
And then, but during one of the earlier death scenes, I don't think it's the butcher. I think it's somebody else, but it might be the butcher. He's going through and looking at the meat, and like it's saran wrapped into a cell package as a freaking severed hand, and the guy's like, "This is not okay." And then whoever that is, I don't know if that was Randy or who, but they get killed. That was when they get killed. So yeah, I mean, everyone's been finding these body parts. It's just really, I love it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So
so now that Bill's presence is known, right? As the killer.
Yeah. So she realizes that he's. So this is when he goes into his tirade of why.
Yeah.
Which you don't have in all slasher movies, but I do. I do like it when they do have the little this happened and this happened. I'm like, because I'm always just like, cry me a fucking.
I'm like, yes.
Anytime I get a monologue about like why you decided to kill all these people, it's always the lamest thing. He's like, why I want the store. Really?
I want the store.
And so instead of like, I don't know, doing something like banding together maybe and doing some kind of I don't know.
Why is killing all the employees going to get you to the store?
Exactly. Like you could have banded together and done some kind of like crazy Empire Records thing and put on a show and had people come and pay money and so I don't know, do something to save the store.
Right.
But no, instead you're really going to kill everybody.
This was '89. They could have hired Troop Beverly Hills to come and sell cookies in front of their store and sing Tina Turner songs. I mean,
literally, they could have done anything. Except,
other than murder the entire staff.
Other than murder the entire staff. Who didn't do it. Who were just as upset. Not just as upset, clearly, but were upset also that they were losing their fucking jobs.
And their friends and family. And like instead, no, you played a fucking bloody, dismembered temple. What is it called? Legends of the Hidden Temple over here, hiding everything like you're Olmec, and you're not. You're Bill. You're Bill who has.
You're Bill.
You're Bill with 49%.
Yeah. So he like basically his excuse is that he killed his partner and what's his name again? Danny is his name. The one that the money went, the 51%.
Yeah.
So he's like, so he killed him and
Aren't
then he
they
just
brothers?
No.
Oh.
And then he just got carried away and started killing everybody. I'm like, that doesn't hold any kind of water, but okay. Well,
hell, he killed Renee before he kills Danny.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, she was taking the trash out, and then she was leaving.
You're right. Yeah. So that definitely doesn't hold water. But I mean, like, okay. So, but that's his excuse, is that he got carried away. Okay.
Yeah.
So he attacks Jennifer, and he chases her around for a while, and that's when the bread delivery guy appears. But then Bill kills him before he can help him.
Yeah, and I don't know how we got out. I don't know how we got outside so fast.
I don't either. It's like, because he's chasing her around the locked building. Maybe he went at the delivery man's outside, so maybe he just like went out another door. I don't know. So I mean, whatever. So he re-enters the building and he starts like, going after Jennifer again. And then Craig shows up. Now, thank God.
Wait, has she hidden in the popcorn booth yet?
I don't know.
I think before Craig shows up, she's hiding in the popcorn booth. It's really cool. It's like almost like a portable closet. It's like a kiosk almost type thing when there's popcorn around.
Yeah.
So then he starts hatcheting up the popcorn bags over and over. And I'm like, first of all, that's literally cutting into your profit margin, bitch. Just saying. You wonder why you're going out of business.
He's so dumb. No wonder he was 49%.
He is slashing people prices and cutting into profit margins.
I mean,
Sam Walton would not be happy with your marketing skills here.
Okay, so Craig shows back up, and he got in through the bathroom window. He came in through the bathroom window, and then it plays that. I'm just kidding. Okay. Sorry. Let me calm myself down from doing Joe Cocker's version of a fucking Beatles song. Okay. I'm extremely sorry for that, because Joe Cocker gets on every last nerve I have. Okay. So then Bill appears and he beats Craig to death, basically. Bam. So, but Jennifer is able to run away while he's doing that. So she crawls out the bathroom window, and I will not sing it again because she wasn't crawling in, she was crawling out. So it doesn't even work. I could change the lyrics, but she crawled out through the bathroom window.
We are done with that. We are done ordering food through me, and we are done with your Joe Cocker singing. Bye, bitch.
I have such a beautiful voice, and it just doesn't. Well, not when I'm trying to do Joe Cocker, because he.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I thought we were. No, yeah. Okay, then I
was doing Joe Cocker, so I mean, like, was it going to be beautiful? No. I mean, and also, just side note, Joe Cocker, get a real song. Like, get a song of your own.
Yeah, bye.
And everyone's like, oh, the Wonder Years theme song. Listen to the Beatles.
Right.
Anyway, okay, sorry. They're just, I just like, when I was little, I'd heard, the Joe Cocker versions of all these songs, and then later on, I was just like, why does all he do is copy people? He made an entire living off of covering Beatles songs. Like, it's just bonkers to me.
Facts.
Okay, back to the movie. Back to our
scheduled program.
But I think that needed to be said. I mean, we're all thinking it.
Oh, we all were.
Okay, so she escapes, and she just tries to escape in her car, but then she finds Linda's body inside her car.
Yeah, she opens and then boom, they always just fall casually out with daggers in chest. I'm like, if I had $1 for every time someone fell dead out of my car, I'd have $0.
Well, yeah, me too. But if I had $1 for every time I saw someone fall out of a car dead in a movie, I probably have like $15.
Yeah, at least.
At least. I'm saying falling out of a car casually. So
and it's like arms everywhere, like they're doing the damn wave at a baseball game. Sorry, that was me. That was my noise as I fall out of a car.
That's what you do when you die and fall out of a car.
Yeah.
There you go.
La.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. All right, so what's next?
By the way, everyone, side note, you need to watch It's a Sin on HBO Max.
Yeah, Emily didn't believe me. I don't think you believed me when I told you it was going to ruin your life.
It didn't ruin my life. It made it so much better. I've already, in a
good way. Ruined your life in a good way.
I made my friend, well, I didn't make her. She wanted to, but I watched the whole thing again in one day with my friend Ricky.
Very good. All right, back to the movie.
Anyway, okay, sorry. Okay. So, Linda's body has fallen out. Okay, so Bill grabs Jennifer and he pulls her under the car, but she stabs him with a knife. Where I don't know where she got the knife.
The knife was in Linda's chest.
Oh right. Yeah. Can you imagine having to like pull a knife out of your friend's dead chest to like?
No.
I mean, it's just.
I can't. Like your best friend, like you don't even know is dead. But yeah.
So, who is Hunky Dory? Okay, I'm sorry, I just got sidetracked. I was thinking about Hunky Dory.
Clearly.
Okay,
Focus.
Sorry. So she heads to a phone booth, which is hilarious to call the police. I mean,
Yeah.
even though 911 calls are for free, and I will go on another little side note real quick. I got in a lot of trouble when I was about I don't know, 5, 6, 7, something like that. I was at Mr. Gaddy's with my friends from across the street, and then this other girl that lived near me. And I found out, I went to the payphone and I called 911, and I realized you could get through without having to pay money. I thought that was really cool. So I did it one time, and then I hung up, and then I told my friends to go do it. They got caught. And then they blamed me. And then, well, I mean, they didn't blame me. They didn't blame me, but technically I wasn't the one that did it that time, but I got in trouble for it. And then my grandparents were not there, but to humiliate me, my parents made me go home and apologize to my grandparents for doing it. and this was all my own. I go, I don't know why I did it. I guess the devil was in my heart.
I guess the devil was in my heart.
because I called 911 on a payphone. Anyway, so okay. My parents were probably just like, what's wrong with you? Like at every corner, my parents were asking, what's wrong with you?
So when the only time that I remember, like, I mean, we called 911 a lot, not a lot, but one of the times I remember it is when me and my brother locked ourselves out of our house in the middle of the day. Because we scared ourselves from a movie that we were watching. So then we broke back into the house, and then we called 911 to say that it was just us breaking into our own house.
Actually, that's pretty smart.
Well, no, there was no alarm. I mean, there's no alarm.
I know, but I mean,
we should have called them. There's no.
I know, but just in case, just in case. I mean, I'm just saying I was innocent.
We were just trying to tell the police, don't worry, we're not being killed.
I know, I get it. Like, I think that makes sense. I was just doing it because I thought it was cool. But technically...
we thought we were getting killed. I
know. That's why yours makes more sense.
No. But it doesn't make sense because when you look back, there's no reason the police should have ever even had any idea. Like, they didn't know. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's why it doesn't make sense.
But... Yeah, 911, don't do it. Okay, so unless like you need to. Right, so she calls the police, but Bill comes back and he starts to smash through the booth, and then of course the booth topples over because that's what always happens. But then Superman Craig arrives and brutally damaged. He has a meat cleaver, so he goes after Bill.
Right.
So then the police arrive, this is where we have Bruce Campbell, him and Sam Raimi are on the front cover as like actors in this movie. This is like the last 5 minutes of the movie. Bruce Campbell is one of the police officers that shows up, and then Bill is not dead. And he's just like really severely injured, and he says that Jennifer and Craig are responsible, and the police. They're like, no, we didn't do it. And they ignore them and arrest him.
I know. We were just talked about recently and just recently released our episode on Happy Birthday to Me. Bleak ending. What the hell?
Then Bill opens his eyes as Jennifer screams, and then it's over. So we're just like, not fair.
Not fair at all.
No. So
that's the end.
Yeah, so there is quite a lot of trivia on this. I'm not going to go through all of it. I actually did a podcast about this and a while back, and did a lot of the fun facts. But it does have
if anything's related to Sam Raimi, Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell, we can skip all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a given.
Right. So the film was shot in an actual grocery store, and they shot it in the evenings when the store was closed, which I find really interesting because it reminds me of how they had to film Dawn of the Dead. Of course, the original. I hate how every time I say Dawn of the Dead, I have to say the original.
You don't have to say the original.
But I just feel like I do because
no one's ever going to assume that you're talking about the remake. If anything, the original is the standard, and if you have to clarify, you should say the remake.
That's true. I do the same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though.
Right. You don't have to just assume that. Just assume.
And be like, if you don't know this, then you're dumb. But I thought it was interesting because I know that Dawn of the Dead took a lot longer to film. Well, I would assume it did because I think it took months. But they had to film at night and while the mall was closed, and they even like filmed through like the Christmas season, so they'd have to take all these Christmas decorations down and all this stuff, and like they'd have to get the mall ready again for the morning because people were still shopping there. So same thing with this, and that's just crazy to me, like the cleanup that you would have to do, and I mean, and I'm sure I'm sure they have insurance on all this, so if they broke something or whatever. But like, and with Dawn of the Dead, it's a little harder to. I mean, well, it happened, so it's not hard to believe, but it seems a lot more work. But that's just, I think that's really super interesting that when people film in like a place that's actually like open for business and they're having to like clean all this shit up overnight and make the movie, so it's like.
Well, nobody is mopping the floors in that grocery store. Ugh.
True.
I'm still mad about it.
And so it was originally called The Night Crew, but they didn't think it was marketable. So, I was right. That old man the line that he says is "Hold hands, you lovebirds," and he would always say that whenever he was in a Three Stooges short, that was like a line that he was known to say. It was like his catch line. I do think it's cool that the song Sam Raimi sings is the one Shelley sings in Evil Dead.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
I do think I'm not going to bring up Sam Raimi that much, but I like that one. And let's see. Yeah, that Raising Arizona had the same story about that he tells during their lunch break or whatever, with the head in the hand and the sandwich in the other, that whole speech. But okay, it doesn't really matter. Tobe Hooper originally was supposed to direct this movie. I don't really know. Tobe Hooper is a weird one to me for me personally because I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre so much, but I don't like the Funhouse very much, and I'm not a huge fan of Poltergeist. So and later on, I think he did the remake of the Toolbox Murders before he died, and I really think it wouldn't have been as good if he.
I don't think it would have been as good because I don't. Spiegel's work.
Well, he didn't have exactly. He didn't have experiences with that kind of I really do think Scott Spiegel was really smart. I think he's almost better than Sam. I mean, he hasn't done as much, so I can't say for sure. But it seems like when he worked with Sam Raimi, he took everything that I would have liked from Sam Raimi, and that's what he put into this movie.
Yeah.
So
he just I mean, Sam Raimi clearly has way more to offer. That clearly he's way more famous even in the future, like now.
Yeah. Yeah.
From movies that you definitely hate. But
for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that Tobe Hooper would have brought the same. I don't want to say levity because it wasn't like it was slapstick comedy, hilarious or anything. But there were some really light parts.
He wouldn't have had all like those little. I don't think he would have had the cool shots that.
The cool shots would have not been there, and then
the little signs and stuff like that. And I just don't think any of that, I guess you call them Easter eggs, kind of almost. Yeah,
and I mean, and even the deaths, even all the deaths had a little humor to them as well. And I don't think that Hooper would have done that because being stabbed in the chest and then they explodes a case of beer. I don't know, just all these different things that were happening. I don't think that Tobe Hooper would have brought the same thing. And this is 1989, full ass serious horror was dead. Slashers were dead at this point. So I just can't imagine. I'm glad Tobe Hooper didn't do it. I love all of Tobe Hooper's movies. and I love freaking Poltergeist, but I don't think this would have been a good fit.
No, I don't think so either. Okay, so I was right that it didn't take as long as Dawn of the Dead. Obviously, it was shot over the course of 2 weeks, so that seems a little more doable to clean up stuff.
Yeah, if this took as long as Dawn of the Dead, then I would question my entire existence.
Well, facts.
I mean, there's like 8 people in this movie, and Dawn of the Dead had like, let's get real.
So, the body count, actually, you have actually a total of 11, maybe.
Yeah, but we don't count the people that they talk about in stories before.
Well, that's 2 of them, and then you can assume that Bill dies, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to assume he died, which we don't know, and then the first 2 that are the deaths that are talked about beforehand,
you have 8.
Then yeah,
he killed 8 people. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all I have, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we think we covered all the deaths and covered all the funness of the grocery store horror. One of the only grocery store horror movies. that I've seen.
Another thing is that I wanted to point out is that they did kind of make it look like Renee Estevez was in more of the movie, and there are some versions that make it look like she's like the main character.
Right.
Kind of like how they put Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell in the front, but anyway, she's not.
Yeah.
So
they were real concerned that people weren't going to pick this fucking movie off the shelves. They did everything they could and lied to us to get someone to pick this movie up.
And guess what? I didn't.
I didn't. I never even saw it. I never heard it.
It didn't work. So
I never even heard of it until a few years ago.
So I'm trying to think. So I was trying to think of what I would rate this, since the last movie that we recorded was Happy Birthday to Me, and I rated it 3 stars, like a solid 3. I think I'm going to rate this one.
I'm giving it a 4.
I can't give it a 4.
I
just can't do that. That's way too high for me. I think I would give it a 3.7.
3.66 repeat.
Yeah, I'm going to give it pi.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's not pi.
I know it's not. It's 3. What is pi? It's
Why do we
What is pi? 3.16?
It's a mathematical equation. What? No, it's 3.14. March 14th.
3.14. Okay, whatever. Okay, yeah, it's pi. Okay, I give it 3.6666666666.
Oh, we only needed 3 6s.
Well, I gave you more. I know you wanted to be demonic about it, but
well, the devil's inside you, so we needed that.
God damn. Okay, so what do you get? You give it 4?
I'm giving it a solid 4. I friggin' love it.
I mean, I do really like it a lot. I will rewatch it. I will recommend it. But considering the movies that I would give like 4 and 4.5s to, a lot of most slashers aren't on a slasher scale. It's like Sleepaway Camp and, like some of the Friday the 13th get like 4 point something. I don't feel comfortable.
I don't rate movies to compare them with each other. So if I give something a 4 and something else a 4, that doesn't always mean they're the exact same. They're not the exact same 4.
No, I can see that. But and I do that. I do that as well. I'm not putting this on the same scale as like other horror movies. I'm not going to put it on the same, but I am going to put it on the same scale as I put slasher movies.
Yeah, well, even all slasher movies, but that's still why I'm comfortable giving this a 4. Like I gave Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 a 5. That doesn't mean that this is a 4 is the same scale as Nightmare on Elm Street, like just 1 star off. Right. I mean, they're all independent ratings.
Yeah, I don't know. With me, I do compare them to the other slashers.
Yeah.
But I do think this has really good rewatchability, and that is very important to me so I'm gonna go up to 3.75 because I don't want to be satanic about it.
Shit.
So you can get someone else to do your bidding.
Damn it, that was close. And I'm putting the Ouija board up. I was about to get something happening. Damn it.
I'm sorry. Maybe next time. Maybe. So I say gag on watermelon.
Stay gagged on laundry detergent.
Oh God, very generic laundry detergent.
Yes.
Yeah. Stay gagged on a meat hook.
Stay gagged on stocking your shelves with all the goods and necessities.
Yeah, stay gagged on my grocery list.
Stay gagged on summoning your inner devil and calling 911.
And yeah, and stay gagged with a phone and an eyeball.
And stay gagged on following us on all of our social media and YouTube, guys.
You can find it on our link tree. Everything's there.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
See ya.